If you want to get into digital marketing and you need a step-by-step guide that shows you everything that you need to do and how to get into the space, well, I've got something for you. On this video, I'm going to walk you through everything that I did in order to get into the digital marketing space. How are regular folks like you and I that aren't blessed with massive marketing budgets supposed to compete in spaces that take a ton of money, a ton of time, and a ton of resources, all while trying to stay sane? That's the question. And on this podcast, we're here to help you find answers. Welcome to the Marketing Stuff Podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, Maurice A. Davis, and today we're going to walk through that step-by-step list and show you how you can get into the digital marketing space. And I'm sharing this stuff from my experience. All right, let's jump into it. I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I see. Okay, these are the things we're going to cover on this video. We're going to talk about the basics of digital marketing, talk about how to gain an advantage in digital marketing. We're going to get into gaining experience. We're going to talk about networking, and then we're going to get into the wrap up and conclusion. Hey, Maurice here, different Maurice than from the show that you're watching right now. If you want access to all the resources that I'm talking about and you don't want to have to write them down, in the notes below, you'll find a link. If you register there, I have included all the resources that I talk about inside of this free database. It's yours. So get back to the show. I hope you enjoy. Let's talk about the basics of digital marketing. One of the things that I think is the biggest miss when you are trying to learn digital marketing is to think about digital marketing from the digital perspective. You have to remember that digital marketing is just marketing in a digital platform. Okay. So a lot of the foundations that you need are in your old school marketing textbooks. So you have to have a little bit of theory in order to make this work. And then once you understand how all the pieces fit together, then you can go about looking at some of the digital aspects. But if you jump into, say, posting on social, blogging, any of that stuff too soon, and you want to be a marketing professional, you're going to be building your marketing career on a shaky foundation. Earthquake! So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be covered. And there's this theory called a T-shaped marketer. And the idea is to build a wide base and have a deep level of specificity or a specialty. Now, the course that I recommend is actually Course Careers. I think they do a fantastic job of building that wide base and start moving you towards what you need in order to find a position. So down below in the description, you will find a link that will take you over to a free course that you can access to give you some more insights about a career in digital marketing, and then a code for $50 off for their course. The second step is to pick a direction. And one of the things that I struggle with the most when I look at a lot of different digital marketing courses is that they talk about digital marketing as one big thing. Like, oh, you're a digital marketer. Like it's only one skill. And I'm going to link a video up here at the top of the screen somewhere, and it'll talk about the 5 skills that I think you need to be a successful digital marketer. Now, this doesn't include the base or the foundation. These are just the 5 skills that I think are going to drive the most effectiveness and proficiency. And I'm going to talk about a couple of those as we get through some of this content. There are tons of free courses available on Google, Facebook, HubSpot. Let me add this here because I'm going to tell you how you can get this. HubSpot, all of these are great places where you can get free courses, but they don't help nearly as much until you pick your direction or pick what you want to be a specialist in. This is another reason why you have to be really clear about learning the foundation, because that's going to get you at least some insight into what it is that you want to do. You can do a ton of searching on YouTube for content, but if you don't know what it is that you're trying to learn, it can be very difficult to find information that's going to be helpful. That's why if you type in how to learn digital marketing, you're going to get a lot of vague videos. Okay, so that is the basics. Again, check out the Course Careers free course down below to get more insight into a digital marketing career, to make sure this is the path that you really want to go down. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how you can get this, and this can become your checklist of the things that you need to do. All right, so the second piece here is we need to gain an advantage in digital marketing. Look, everybody's taking the same courses. Most of you are watching the same videos. And so you have to figure out how it is that you want to stand out. Yes, we're going to pick our specialty, right? And that's going to help a ton. But if we have additional skills that help what we do in our role, it makes us that much more effective. Okay. Let's walk through the three things that I think are important, and then I'll share an example. So the one that I think gets overlooked a ton is learning to make creative, right? Learning to make content. Let me add that here. So creative slash content. And the reason why I say creative slash content, like if you're running ads, we might call it creative. But if we know how to make really good content, then that can become the creative. And if you know how to do that really well, then there are businesses out there that are happy to pay you just for that skill. Money, money, money. But if you pair that with something like, I make really great creative, but I'm also a really amazing copywriter, then essentially what you're saying is I can get people's attention for little to no money, and I can convince them to take the next step with the words that I write. And that leads me to the next one: learn copy. And if you watched any of my other videos, you hear me talk about this, but it's because it gives you such a solid foundation in so many other areas that you really want to understand as a marketing professional, that it becomes an invaluable skill for any marketing professional. Now, I don't expect you to get into copy and become an absolute pro, but you do want to have a great understanding of this copy. And again, if you check the link below, you'll see a link down there that'll give you resources to not just this document, but to all the resources I've talked about in the last few episodes. So feel free to grab that, or you can go to mauriceadavis.com/vault, and that'll give you the tools that you need in order to grab this document and then the other documents as well. Now, there are three emerging areas, or three areas that get talked about a lot in digital marketing space. So they're worth bringing up, and you can determine whether or not you want to focus on those or you want to go the other way, right? And find something that you are really passionate about. The first one is marketing automation. This has been a trend for a while, okay? And it's not going anywhere. It is changing because of bullet number 2, but it's not going anywhere. Any business that can automate something, remove the human interaction, does two things: decreases the cost to deliver the product or service, but they also improve or increase the efficiency and consistency. And one of the biggest problems with like customer service isn't that a company doesn't know how to do customer service. It's the challenge of consistency. So we have marketing automation, AI specifically for marketing, right? How do you leverage AI in order to make your marketing better? There are tons of ways that you can do that. But if you're really good at figuring those out and applying them to unique business cases, that could be a powerful skill. And then we have data analysis. I look at it along of how do I analyze customer information? How do I analyze or review how effective my marketing is, or how do I do something as simple as look at the funnel a customer is going through and determine the problems and provide a diagnosis. So these are all things that can come out of those three areas. You may find that to be a really effective marketer in this space, because as AI is really hitting the market, it can be harder for you as a new marketing professional to show that you are valuable enough to receive compensation. So we have to like really get in good with these and get excellent at whatever it is that we want, and then add one of these to augment our skills. And what you'll find is if you add one of these, you'll probably end up adding the other two.
1 + 1 is 2.
Okay, so the next piece, how do we gain experience? Listen, the truthful answer here is just go get some. One of the ways that I gained experience really early on was working with local nonprofits. Now, it's free. You're going to be working for them for free. But oftentimes they have a ton of marketing projects that they need help with. And if you can grab one of your local nonprofits, help them with their social media, get all that stuff together, grow their social media, and show that you've been successful in the area that you're saying that you're good at, it doesn't matter that it was for a local nonprofit. You just have to show that you're effective, right? And you can do that for several local nonprofits to build up your portfolio of work and to get yourself to a level of confidence that you're like, yep, I can do this. You can also do the same thing with local businesses. Now, the difference is you may actually get paid if you work with local businesses. Local nonprofits are very unlikely. Look, they want your free work, okay? Then you can do platforms like Fiverr or Upwork. Actually, so I said I worked with local nonprofits. These are the two that I used. I did work on Fiverr, and then I also did a local nonprofit. Okay. Actually, I did this too. I did work with local businesses, but I was helping them like set up their Google My Business profiles. Right. So that's how I got started doing these three as I think about it, doing all three of these in some combination that I believe was best for me. Then we have to think about, okay, I have these skills. I can apply for these jobs, but one of the best ways to hear about jobs and to land the interview is to have connections in the place where they're hiring. And so I have this saying, and it's know people before you need people. And building connections is all about how do I connect with the right people, how to provide them value beforehand. It's a key marketing concept, value beforehand. And then at the time in which they need what I can do, how do I leverage that relationship to advance or to take the next step forward? We can also interview people on social media. If you look at my podcast, a lot of times I'll have one of my guests on, and that's a way that I'm building my network. I now know these people. We've had an hour-long conversation, and many of them, if I picked up the phone and said, hey, I need help on a project, or I have a client that I'm looking to send your way, or whatever I have going on, they would be happy to take that phone call because now they're inside of my network. And then lastly, you want to share your success stories. Spend some time as you are doing your work with your nonprofits, setting up local businesses, doing work on Fiverr, whatever it is, cultivate those success stories in a single place so that you can collect them. I have an intern working with me right now, and she's building a portfolio on Notion. And the reason why we're doing that is because it's super easy to create, but it's also really easy to share, right? All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. My goal is to not make this really long. Look, digital marketing is a fantastic career to be in. And once you have the skills and the foundation that you need and you've gained your experience, you could be making anywhere from $45,000, $55,000 a year or more with minimal to no experience. I want you to be successful if this is the path that you want to take. So I've put together all my resources down below in the Digital Marketers Vault, and that's for you. I will continue to add tools and resources as I do more shows. Make sure you go down below, register to get access to the vault. It is a growing resource. If you have things that you're using that you want added, or you have questions that you have about a specific course or class, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll do a review, and then I can add that resource to the vault. Hey, I appreciate you. That's all I got for you. Stay out here winning, y'all.